and it is known as Winding River. Why is it called Winding River, you say? Gee, let me think. Anyway, it's a ladder game actually, so this map has turned up in the ladder board. You can see it's the individual ratings on there. And we'll just go ahead and do our standard sorting. We have Team 1 up here at the top. We have Team 2 down here at the bottom. Shovel Knight says, the fuck is this shit? So I'm guessing he's never seen this map either. But that is, yeah. Have a look at the terrain, and the mountains are, well, they're pretty tall. So you do kind of have to go around. It is a 20 by 20 kilometer map. It is rather huge. And how's the mass? Well, mass is all up in the corners. There's not that much of it, only a couple of thousand, just under 3,000 to be had across the entire place. There are trees as well, but quite a few trees actually. There's a lot of trees here. There's quite a few tree clumps. Should be all good. Okay, let's say g'day to the players. Looks like it should have been a 5v5 actually, maybe even a 6v6 with a couple of extra hydros there, but 4v4 it is. Let's have a look then. Up here, first off, for team number 1 in the yellow colour, it is Ill-Tempered. Ill-Tempered is Cybran, and an Ill-Tempered Cybran sounds about right. They are a grumpy bunch. Maybe deservedly so, who knows. But anyway, he is yellow, and he is there. On the front, I guess, with him as well, over here, it is Amygdala. Amygdala has been given the red colour and is sitting there in the UEF. Yes, no, I think they're all separate. So all the ratings, 1v1 ladder, 2v2 ladder, 4v4, they are all separate ratings. You can do terrible in 1v1 ladder, but do well in 4v4 and have a better rating. Third player for team number 1, it is Stoned Elf. Stoned Elf is also UEF, he's got the white colour, and he's focusing on getting some energy up because his hydro is a mile away. And finally, for team number 1, all the way up here at the bank, it is Shovel Knight, the guy who said, what the fuck about the map? And he's pink and he is Cybran. So 2 Cybran, 2 UEF for team number 1. And let's go have an introduction of team number 2. First off, down here in the grey corner, it is Camp Kex 500. I'm just going to call him 500, maybe, or Camp. Anyway, he is UEF, and as aforementioned, he is the grey colour. Having a grand old time there. Assisting him on the front section in Seraphim, so first Seraphim of the day, it is Axel 12. Axel has been given a blue colour, working on an air factory, and he is good to go. Behind him, over this way, it is Strife. Strife is orange, Strife is UEF. Strife was pausing for a moment, thinking about his next move, which was to build an air factory. Now there it goes. And finally, for team number 2, right here in the back, in the lavender colour, it is Sailor Moon. And Sailor Moon is Cybran, and they are looking at making an air grid of 2 air factories with plenty of pigeons surrounding it. Going to have themselves a fun time. So yeah, Navy is going to be important. You lose the Navy game, you're going to have a really bad time, because these ships can get all the way up here. They can secure all this, they can secure these extra mass extractors, absolutely everything. So not going to want to lose Navy. And the first one with a Navy factory is Amygdala. Amygdala Angryman, and he is making that his own, not building anything yet, just getting the factory down so you can work with that. Yeah, so sorry Mother Duker, just to expand a little bit on the laddering, I have 3 different ratings. I've played all of them. I've done 1 versus 1 ladder, I've done some 2v2, and I've done some 4 versus 4 matchmaking. Ooh, T1 bomber out from Amygdala, let's keep an eye on that. And every single rating is different. So yeah, don't count on one, they're all different. All separate, and that is a sizable indie drop coming in from Camp. And where is he going to take those? I'm going to presume he's taking them to the right, and if he times it well, maybe he's going towards the mid. He's going towards the mid. If he times it badly, he's going to run into a T1 bomber. Times it well, he'll be okay. A bit of a counter drop coming in from Ill-Tempered. He has got why do people do this? Why? Oopsie. Oh. Sorry, I hate bots. Bots can die in a fire. I mean, do people actually respond to those freaking things? Like, does anybody actually follow those links and get buy more viewers just to get banned? Anyway, this drop here from Ill-Tempered has made landfall right here. With 1 engine there. That seems like an odd thing to do. So it's flown all the way over here, dropped 1 injury, and now it's backtracking. It seems like the wrong way to do it. You sort of want to drop as you go along, so maybe he should have dropped there and then gone that way. Like this here. So Strife has dropped 2 inches there, and they have moved off into their purpose. Unfortunately, They are sitting still and could be victims of a T1 bomber which is circling around. Here we go. We want to keep these guys on the move, and maybe not. They've split up, and that bomber is going to go kill engineer number 1. And now there needs to be some interceptors around to kill that before it finishes off. This transport does manage to just drop off its engineer faction over there. They have gotten straight into building anti-air because, as you would, the engines have been dropped over here from camp, and that is, well, it's a bold move. I don't think it's going to succeed because you've got a commander plus a frigate wandering around. It's going to have a bad time. There's been a drop up this way here for Axel, so he's claimed up this back spot. Yeah, why not? But at the same time, excuse me, hiccups. There's been a drop up this way from Shovel Knight. He's got a few engineers down as well, getting some mixes, getting some reclaim. So interesting spots all around. We have a bomber loitering over here from camp. Got a couple of inties in defense as well, but they're not going to last long with reinforcements coming. But there are 2 of them still, and it's just the one from Stoned Elf who's got some units coming on and a drop planning as well to join the fun. We have, there we go, so the commander has turned up over this way, and that's going to be the end of this for camp. He might as well just run those engines away. Try and get them to survive. They may not because the commander is chasing. Bad place to land your interceptor, don't do that. It's going to be that point kind of shoot away. There has been a drop here from Sailor Moon who's going to discover quite to his... That's rude. Why are you on my side of the island, sir? And here we go, so trying to do a short reclaim on that engine to get an edge there. Not going to work because the engine moves away. Starts on a land factory. There's already one established here, though it's not building. Him just throwing out a couple of little T1 units will stop that engine from getting that, so... But he's not doing it. Not doing it at all. Okay, transport has deposited these engineers here. They are ripe for a nice group destruction, though there was a T1 bomber around, but it has obviously died to something else up here. I want to bring it down here and kill these off. Really do. They're nicely clumped together, just ripe for a T1 bomber. Right, still no units coming out of that, and these guys pass waving to each other as they go. I don't think Ill-Tempered is worried about that. He's just leaving it there, getting a bit of extra mass, not producing any units. Okay, up this way we have a T1 bomber being harassing from Amygdala. There are interceptors around though, and it's going to have a bad time with that. Corpse lands on the factory. Nobody cares. Amygdala says drop. Yeah, where? Which one? There's all sorts. You got a drop here, you got a drop here, you've been dropped there, you have been dropped there. And actually, maybe he's talking about this one, which is making its way forward. Some T1 engineers. Going to be offensive. Offensive engineers going to come up and maybe try and build a factory. As long as that bomber doesn't get to them, they should be okay. So nice little drop going on there. And what about here? Okay, we have a Mantis, but you kind of want to throw out a Lobo to kill Lobo Medusa. That's situated to kill that off. And over here, these engineers have been left alone. Well, they've built factory and haven't got the mixes because the mixes belong to somebody else. And these guys did make landfall. There's an engineer right beside them, but I don't think anybody's noticed. You did not notice that there's a factory right beside you, right beside your engineer. Best throw out some kind of unit to kill that. And there we go. Mech Marine is out. He's going to have a grand old day. These little guys. Daka daka daka. They're so much smaller than engineers, but they get the job done. Alright, 6 factories are planned up here, and they're going to start spamming out units. If they can get some anti-air, or at least, well, the bomb's dead, so that's all good. And if they kill this mix, which is upgrading, that's going to be a bad time for a Stoned Elf. Really want to get some more offensive units, so get some tanks, get some artillery. Especially artillery. Artillery is going to be great at killing stuff off. And this little guy is having the time of his life. Absolute time of his life, just shooting through the trees. Whew, that was a range camera pan. Here we go. He's doing it. Look at that little guy. He is actually going to kill a 25% upgraded mass extractor. That's hilarious. That is a waste of mass. But Navy is a problem. We have some red gets out from Amygdala. They have wandered around and they are killing things. This factory has been spotted by something. A couple of Medusas here lobbing their shells over. Finally starting to produce units, but I think that's a wee bit late. Every time they get a certain way along, a T1 anti-shell drops on and stops, kills whatever's in there. See, there we go, starts again. Along comes another shell, shell lands, area damage, and stops, and starts again. So that's going to get nowhere. Massive air wing over here from Amygdala to support his frigate there, which has picked off a couple of mass extractors. Not too much of a problem, T1. Not really. Basically ignored, but hello, this is a swarm of Selens from Axel, so he's wanted to try and find and pick off some engineers. It's a bad place to park your interceptors, friend. They die. Horribly. So both T1s, they're happily running past here, and there's been it's an anti-air turret. I thought he was going to get that finished up just in time, but it's anti-air. That's not going to do anything against this swarm. And look at these Selens with the SAM and production go. Still with anti-air turrets. I guess he wasn't expecting the ground attack. Just like over here, there's these units having to go at the air factory. Not going to do good. There is a T1 PD over here, however. Should they get closer, it's going to have a great time killing those. There we go. Nice and easy. Bye-bye, Selens. Okay, let's have a look at the Navy game. And nothing doing from Axel. Not popping out any frigates at all. In fact, the first frigate out for team number 2 is from Camp. And that is a single Thunderhead going up against a couple or few. Not going to enjoy that. Over here, they've been ousted from this bottom right section. No real contesting going on there. No pushback. Just let these engineers drop. And you see what happens when you ignore engineers, folks. They get to build up. They put up some factories. They grab some eco. And then units start. And you don't want that. Units are going to give you a bad time. These guys are having a great old day. Although they're now running into T2 PD. That's not going to be so good. That's interesting. UF with a Cerberus turret, so I'm guessing these got donated over from one of his teammates. And they're going to have a Warsaw time, but I don't know that they got much done. They could off that mass extractor, but then there's just been a lot of death and destruction. There was a radar there. A lot of death and destruction, but I really don't know what else they got done. I don't think they got a lot done. A bit of harassment, I would say, just to try and slow things down. Going up this way though, can kill off a mass extractor there. It's going to be all fun and games. Not going to get too much done in this direction. There's a Stingers coming out. They're going to slow things down a bit for those guys. So a fun little raid, but in the end just didn't get much done. And there's Control K. Got some engineers out to do some reclaiming, but they don't last long enough to actually take advantage of the Control K, and these units going to come on in and clean things up. These guys have come in, they've just killed off a couple of mass extractors, because hey, why not? Might as well get that done while you're there. But some of the passing lobbies from Amygdala going to shorten their lifespans quite gratuitously. Still do kill off the mass extractor, and I think that's all he was really caring about. Bit of a ground battle here as well, so we just moved up there from Stoned Elf. They run into Sailor Moon's group and have a worse time of it, so they decide to pull on back. And let's have a look for any tech. Well, there we go. In the water, we have 80% done Navy factory for Amygdala, who's still the only person on this team in the water. I take that back, sorry. It's T2 factory for Stoned Elf, and it's been there for a while and is just about to roll off its first destroyer. T2 is almost done for Axel, and is all T1 for Camp. So we are 13 minutes in on the 20 by 20 kilometer map. Still, we have our first T2 factory 14 number. What's going on here? Oh, they're all paused. So I was wondering why they weren't building. It's because they paused. They absolutely paused, and there we go. This section of this corner has been taken by Team 1, so even just as Team 2 has grabbed this section, Team 1 has grabbed this section up here, so still honours even on the map as far as territory and ownership goes. And these guys aren't going to get much further because they aren't amphibious, nor are they hover. They can just sit there and stare at the water forlornly thinking, man, I wish I could swim. This lovely beach with this lovely... And the Zoomies go, lol, we can hover, suck it bitches, and they're off. So Zoomies are on the way, and they go this way. They could stop that naval factory going up. That is T3 Air, and that is a strat bomber. Fortunately, Saying the Moon has also got T3 air, and that strap bomber flies ahead of its ASF escort and gets shot down for precisely 0, say it with me, 0 gain. It's a mass deposit in the water. So, well, except I don't know if he saw it coming, don't know if he thought about it, but a transport flying out, chasing down these ASFs who promptly run away. Scaredy cat, ASFs running away from a transport. How do you do? It's hilarious. Alright, on the ground push as well now. So Team 1 is looking to try and gather this peninsula under their control, and they could very well, or they will do it actually. There's nothing on the ground here to slow them down. We have a drop coming over. It is of lobbies. We're going to see where that is going. But speaking of ground pushes, we also have here, this is coming over from Stone Elf. Got plenty of ground. There we go, some stingers fly on past, but they are less interested in this band. Actually, they take that back, they change their minds, they turn around, and they do a good thing. But this is a lower drop. Question is, where is the lower drop going to go? And the question, has it been seen? Yes, it has, because those are ASFs, that's a dead transport. A drop for you. Nice try. Fail. Alright, what's going on down here? I see pausing, I see T2 on the way. So Strife is going for some T2 Navy, he's going to need it. And we have more drops over here. This is 3 transports full of tanks. Where are they going to go? Maybe they're just going to reinforce over this way, although they don't need to reinforce here. There's plenty of ground units, and there's a destroyer off the coast, which is quite happily killing all of this. Have that, the units, and we're going to have a bad day. Look at that. Some more of their engineers dropped off to help the cause. I don't know what cause that might be. The cause of feeding veterancy to these guys? Yes. Reinforcements have been deposited by Stone Elf, and I don't really know why they weren't needed. Were they leftovers from... Okay, they might have been leftovers from the raid, and they just popped a couple of transports to get them up here where they could actually do some form of reasonable assistance. Okay, frigate down here is going to have a fun time killing off a mass distractor. Nothing they can do there. Even the artisan. It looks like a fun map. I wouldn't mind playing it. Strategy is involved. You can go for the corners, you know, of course this is passable, obviously. You just can't just go right on past that, no dramas whatsoever. You get some land battles going on here up at the peninsulas, get Navy into the water. Park T4 units in the water. Well, you'd have to park the right T4 units. Crab is actually pretty darn good. There's some strong torpedoes. If you can get something like a GC with this like eye above the water, if it's shallow enough, it'll just laser everything. Of course, probably the best T4 water unit is the Tempest, because, well, it is a water unit, freaking battleship. But that aside, we have little Navy going off, and these guys haven't got each other. That was like a dead... Was that actually... Nope, just a frigate. Would have might have been the destroyers, but the destroyers are back here. They're quite happy. It's on, okay. More drops coming over. Again, I think that's just bringing over some spear units. T1 point being having the time of his life. 7 kills, unfortunately. It has been spotted, and it's going to get T1 arty to death. Not before we can get 10 kills though. Nah, not quite. Dead T1 point defense. We're wrong there. Hello, cruiser. So Camp has rolled out a cruiser over this way. I don't know how much use it's going to be, because I don't know if its missiles are actually going to clear those mountains. Look kind of tall to me. If the camera would just stop playing up. Don't think they're going to get over. They can kill this off, but that's kind of non-consequence. There's only a few. No, the Atlantis doesn't count. The Atlantis sucks as a naval unit. It's okay for 12 cents, but I don't know. It just seems to be very underwhelming. Alright, frigates versus land. Well, frigates sitting still, they'll do alright against tanks, but if some T1 arty comes along, they're going to have a bad day. Terribly bad day. Right in the middle though, there's a bunch of destroyers and a cruiser here from Stone Elf, so he's not even bothering with the T1. He's just gone straight into rolling out a few T2 units. He's got a shield boat coming in. That is going to assist with keeping things alive. And up this way we've got, well, we have a frigate having to go at a mass extractor, and then we have a Lobo having to ping us something. I was shooting the frigate, but the frigate moved away. That is rude. Ooh, Zooey spam. Setting up some Zooies to go for a wander, and if they scoot their butts over here, they could do some serious damage. couple of naval factories, including one upgrading to a T2. That'd be a great time to go for that. Knock it off and knock it out. Down here, still pumping out the T2 on that front. Factory is popping out more engineers. We have T2 on the effort amygdala. So looking pretty good from that front. Up this way, and the shield boat is doing shield boat things, as well as a cruiser doing cruiser things and shooting down the attack missiles that are coming in. I mean, it's nice to know that one cruiser cancels out the other. You know, it's TMD is enough that one cruiser stops one. That's pretty much what you need. These guys need to get a move on, and they are getting a move on. But they're going to have frigate fun. There we go. Frigates are coming on in, and can they actually shoot? If the frigates are still, it's going to have a bad time. Needs to keep mobile. Oh, that's not looking good. That's a lot of damage. Oh lordy, one silver. That's a dead frigate. Getting a lot of work done though. Is killing off a bunch of these guys. Does not want to stop. Cannot afford to stop. But then again, neither can the Zoos. If they can just keep going. That frigate just needs to keep ducking, dodging, diving, twisting, turning. These guys just need to keep romping straight this way. And if they can knock out a almost two-thirds done naval factory towards T2. Don't stop, boys. Just keep on going. Keep going. Kill the factory. Okay, in the middle, and it is all go here. We have, okay, so it's one cruiser here. Versus one cruiser over here. That cruiser is also under shields. And ground forces, look at this, just a line of tanks just making its way up here. That's going to be a problem. There has been a small little base stuck down here. A couple of trays are going to really just ruin T1 day. So nothing else is getting down this way, this T1. But these guys, well, I thought they might get somewhere, but overcome the destroyers, and they're going to have a terrible time with that. No dice. Okay, they have made it over. They've killed off one T2P gen. Oh, power is not a bad thing to go for if you can finish it off. That'll really slow down production. In the middle, a swarm of torpedo bombers coming up from Strife, and they are doing their bestest. They have knocked down the shield, and the shield boat is now not protecting a thing. Perhaps it can take some extra torps, so they can swing around, they can kill off, well, they killed the cruiser. So this is now completely exposed to all sorts of torpedo bomber fire. We need these ACFs to come in here from Shovel Knight, and come in they do. The ACFs from Sailor Moon need to come, and he does not have air. He has a much smaller air wing than Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight has been producing units really good, but now is a time to let those torpedo bombers do their thing. Kill off the sonar platform. Not, it was right there, right up the front. It's worth killing. Denying intel is very, very useful. Alright, we have some T2PD on the shore now, so that's going to slow down any kind of Zooey push that might continue on that way. It's very good for slow those. Okay, up here, look at this. Amygdala is in the water. He has the attack missile on his comm. Still looking to be a bit harassing with that. Perhaps he's got 6 kills. He has a missile in the bay ready to go. Looks like he's just focusing on production for the moment. And looks like Team 2 has had to fall back from this naval position. They could not quite keep up the push. Few destroyers had to come over this way, as remember, to fend off the ground units. But now they can mosey on back and they can start making some destruction. If they push right on up, there's one destroyer here, and there were some frigates, but they're taking some attack missile fire. That ain't good for their health. Having said that, there's counterattacks coming in, but that's an engineer that they're going for. The engineer that's on the move ain't going to do much. Need to move these guys in to stop this. Stop the reclaim. Get in there. Make it bad. Right. T3 shift for Stone Delph. So Stone Delph's right. I'm tired of this T2 game. Even producing more units? No, I don't think he did. I think he just stuck with what he had. And he has gone straight into T3 to have some fun. And okay, so you know, the attack missiles did get over here, but there are attack defense being thrown up left, right, and center. Oh, that one almost connected. I think there's going to be too much TMD there to do anything. So at this point, what is a hilarious thing to do is get out a few T1 bombers and just go boop boop boop, and it's off. And yeah, much about that. But is that a drop? I think there's been a drop because these guys are romping on through. Way Pretty sure that must have been a drop. They have killed off everything there and they are good to go with all the rest of the places. In the middle though is where the main action is going on. A couple of navies having standoff tactics. We have cruisers firing 4 cruisers. We have at risk destroyer. It's a little bit far forward from prediction. By the time those tech missiles get shot, they might very well impact if they go for the right thing. And there we go. See, they're starting to impact and... oh. That's going to be handy. There's got enough cruisers to hold that off. Alright. Up this way, air is the factor that is making the most of it. We have a couple of stingers out there just chilling around and just killing off some units, having a good day. So helpful for those units. This Zooey spam is now a waste of mass. Their staging position is here, and all they're doing is moving into die. These frigates are on patrol back and forth, and they're not getting any luck out of those Zooeys. Stop it. Stop the Zooey spam. Move on to something else. Get an upgrade. Go T2. Throw out some Yinzines. Or even after that, just go to T3. Get some siege tanks out. Can you imagine a siege tank rolling up into your base? Gonna have a bad time if that happens. Alright, there's a massive air blob here from Shovel Knight. Let's have a quick look at the ASF numbers. 22 guys. We have 69. Nice. For Shovel Elf. And we have 21. 21 for Sailor Moon. So the air advantage is massive. Absolutely massive. Sailor Moon, what are you doing? Oh, you are upgrading something? Telly? He's got the laser. Is he getting telly? He is. But he is well behind on air. He needs to do something to catch up. He is so far behind. He's like less than a third of his opponent's aircraft. And that is desperate times indeed. T3 Navy, and that is a battle cruiser. Yes, it is. So that is going to be old Zorchi coming out doing all the damage. Once that gets onto the front line. In fact, we already have one off the rails. Just moving his way slowly towards the front. When it reaches there, it's going to cause absolute havoc over here because these guys are actually getting job work done because of the slow unit output from Stoned Alpha while he was doing the upgrade. It has allowed these guys to move on up, and sitting here right at the front is Amygdala. Do they have any idea that he's there? Well, they should do. They've just had a scout go over. They've seen it. These guys moved up. There, right there. So he's had to cancel the T3 because of these destroyers moving in. If they were paying attention, they would see him. They could rush in and cause some huge amounts of damage. But the problem is, by the time they get there, this bad boy is going to be in range. And here come the... ah, dear. Where are your cruisers? All the way back here. That's not great. You have exposed destroyers. They're having a bad time from them. Torpedo bombers, get your cruisers in there. Keep them close. That is unfortunate. And now, this guy's in range. Just have a look at the damage that battle cruiser can put out. As soon as it picks the target. Nope, just out of range. Not good times though. That is bad news for team number 2. They have T2 Navy facing off against T3 is never a good thing. Alright, so down here, well, those zombies did get stuff done, but they have been ousted by, I saw them, broadswords. There we go. Oh, whalers, sorry. Whalers even. So some whalers are out, and they have cleaned out shop up this way. And it looks like they were trying to get up some anti-air, but the whaler says no. Ashes are trying. T1 AA is trying to take care of the whaler. That's not going to happen. They might as well finish off the... just step up some more T1 AA. Why not? Maybe the whaler will die actually. It's not looking terribly healthy. There's still plenty of anti-air there. The whaler decides to flee the scene. Is it just too late to run away on that? The whaler does die. He has himself a terrible time. But small land counter push, not too surprising. Doesn't take much action he's got available to him there to take care of it. And this battlecruiser is just having the time of his life. Why not? Move on up, kill everything. 16 kills, job done. And now we have patrolling jesters, so Zooey Day really is over. Stop, 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 stop. Engineers, okay, engineers are fine. A brick up here. So ill-tempered got T3 land at some point and moved a brick up in this direction to clean up shop. Looks like it has done exactly that. Now some units trying to push their way up this way. Not going to do great. There are some Cerberus turrets and of course the brick itself as well. They're going to have a terrible time trying to push on that, and some Navy off to the side cleaning house. Has been a drop up here, but if these units try to move close into here, they're going to turn into Cerberus fodder. Really don't want to do that. Okay. What's he doing? I don't see the building. Building some T1 PD, so perhaps he just got... No, you don't get the teleport when you're concerned about being telemazed. You get it because you want to telemaze. So maybe he wants to do that, but having said that, why is he so injured? What happened to hurt you? Did he go somewhere? Did he already teleport and we missed it? If we did, he didn't get... Oh, actually, I'll take that back. He got a bunch done. Looks like he telemazed up here. Killed off... Oh, that... Not the HQ though. Unless that was a secondary HQ or from Shovel Knight and the primary HQ was killed off. And this is a secondary HQ in case of things like that. So he did actually get down and get some work done, but maybe 68 kills though. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Did get a bunch of work done. Okay. Yeah, looking over this way. Well, some T3 engineers are coming on up to say hello. They stop there. They think about what they want to do. And then I think they'll die. Whee! Boof boof. Next. More missiles. Here we go. And then the engineer recognizes there's not even a reclaim to get. This engineer wanders on up, sees his co-worker die and think, yeah, stopping here is a good idea. I'll do exactly the same thing. He's going to suffer the same fate. A pair of battlecruisers up the front. They have been having the time of their life. So that is a battlecruiser in response. So that is enough to shoot them away when you combine them with all the T2 that is sitting around as well. So T3 is in the water for team number 2. That is good news for them. They can now actually fight on a reasonably even keel, actually, I'd say. And hello, good old Cybran destroyers wandering over land. They're supporting the bricks. So even if you try to rush the destroyers with things like a T1 Archie or something, the bricks are there to fend off all of that T1. There we go. They've been having a rousing old game of fuck the ground, haven't they? Look at the side of that mountain. It is absolutely munted. Or would be if they could actually fix the terrain aside from making scorch marks. Having a bad time. Right, bricks doing brick things and just mopping up the T1 as it comes on through. Look at those guys just die. Seems like a silly idea to try and send them on through. They do get some shots off course and do some damage, but hey, when you don't have enough and you just let them go like that, it's going to be a bad time. This spot is now under threat. It's an Omni, or at least it was going to be an Omni right about now. Okay, they can see everything for a grand total of like 5 seconds. Maybe a bit longer, but nonetheless, that's unfortunate. They have lost a section of the island. The bricks and the Salem's going to have a good time knocking those guys on out. And we do have T3 counter though. Axel has actually done that, exactly that. He's moved T3 factory there and it's time to roll out some units. This way we can see the... Oh, hello, that is a dead Neptune, I believe. Does that mean advantage team 2 in the water? That's a second dead Neptune actually. Yes it is. So both Neptunes are down at the moment for team number 1. And there's still a Neptune plus a bunch of T2 and some cruisers. And they could actually gain some ground this way and throw out some engineers to grab some of this reclaim. Have a looky. Just in the water just here there's around 15. No, it can't be right. Yep, no, around 15,000 reclaim just here in the water to be grabbed, mostly from these Neptunes, a bunch of T2 units. You're going to want those, and you're going to want them soon before your opponents can recover and push you back off it. Get the mass field while you can. Okay, bricks heading up this way. They're going to have a grand old time. Engineers are being dropped on in. They're going to scoop up all this mass here. But speaking of mass, there's 8,000 of it to be had in this region. Why not? Get what you can. Okay. We're going down here. More T2 units out there. They're going to just die horrible deaths. There's a sonar platform. I have questions. Why is that up the front? Is one of the big questions I have. Why? Omniplacement, land or water preferred. Well, you can't put Omni in water. Omni is land only. The T3 sonar does not have battleships. T3 sonar does not have Omni. It is just sonar. The only Omni you can have is on land. So yeah. Want Omni? It's going on land. Let's see. This is just about to go Omni. A grand overview actually. See so much. Any moment now. We've already got a good amount here. Why can I see all that? What is showing this?
Strategic launch detected.
Hello, Nuke. Who had the Nuke? I'm looking for it. Here it is. Completely missed that. So that is actually coming out from Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon finished a nuke launcher and it is going to this kind of what direction? Well, I actually don't see an SMD up here, so it could go and knock off a Magdala. It could come here and kill off the T3 Naval HQ, although there's a SMD going up now. Is the SMD in his base? No, there's not. It could have gone anywhere. Oh no, except there. Well, actually, it could have landed before, maybe before that finished up booting, but no, it looks like he's going up this way. And that's going to be a bad time for ill-tempered. If something is going to make him ill-tempered, that is something else that's going to make it even worse. It's going to land and be a beautiful explosion. Come on down, Mr. Nuke. Everything dies. Except for that. That's all those T3 power, that's all his HQ. 1, 2, 3 T3 mixes there. This one just barely survives. All of it gone. So he has a some backup T3 gen. That T3 P gens around an Omni. That's hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. But it means he still has power. He still has mass. He still has units over here. He's got some engineers that can grab the reclaim. And he can rebuild. Here we go. Bricks pushing up this way, and oh, sorry, there's the loyalist. Oh, those bricks. But there's T1 air overhead, there's T3 air overhead, and there's a couple of Othams and some T1 PD. They're going to have a bad time. Those bricks are going to fare pretty poorly against all of us. No, this, I'd say he has a chance to rebuild. He's going straight into T1 mixes and do some upgrading. Fair enough. Fair enough. So he's not too badly off and he can rebuild on that. Now everybody should be getting a strategic missile defense. I know I saw one down here. There we go. So there's one up there for Stoned Elf. There's not one back in his main base though, so that could be exposed. Up here we already have one. That's a Scathus. So Shovel Knight, not content with having air control, is now going for a Scathus control. It's going to be a brutal thing to do, and his SMD is perfectly healthy with a loaded anti-nuke, and he has plenty of T1 PD around us, so he will be safe. That's just rude. And he has the air game by the look of it, so I think Sailor Moon has just simply abandoned air. Got 29 just for the sake of having air, I think, making a kind of a presence, because compare that to his opponent who has 112 plus 30 out of fuel. If he got some of those back online, that would just be ridiculous. Maybe. Like, yeah, they do, but in honesty, it's not even worth thinking about. The most useful sonar is Cybran with its stealth. Hands down. T3 sonar, Cybran. See, any day. You had to choose one, any day. Cybran T3 sonar. It's the most the torpedoes are basically nothing. It's like a wee bit of a deterrent, or maybe if you get caught by some T1. I'm not even sure it could beat a T1 sub, but yeah. At this point in the game, Motherduka, people don't tend to build these staging facilities because normally you'll have an air fight at some point, and you know all your low fuel guys will Goodness. You say anti-torp seems more useful, and it sort of makes sense. Oh, a few airships coming over this way. These broadswords about to have a terrible time of it. But the thing is, the anti-torp only stops torpedoes. A sonar platform that has been spotted by Navy is usually shot at by destroyers from range.
Strategic launch detected.
That ain't gonna help. Anti-torp ain't gonna help from that. Another Nuke out. That's heavy assistance coming over there. And where's it going this time? It is going down here, and this is not loaded. That is not loaded. And that's not great. That's going to be a massive chunk out of the base here from Amygdala. He's going to lose a bunch of willpower. He's going to lose his T3 HQ. He's going to lose the T3 PGen. All of his T3 mass extractors, which he hasn't finished putting a ring around that. I'm confused. He had one. But at some point, this nuke is going to land. Ooh, you don't want to move your air over that when it lands. Nope, it has split off. That's okay. It's going to pick up the drop. Nope. Drop's going to escape. Maybe. Might be just in range of the blast. That's good. Oh. This mass extractor survived. And so did that pigeon. Still, nice hefty blow on Amygdala. And that has tucked his eco down. And look at what's going on in the mid. Right, this is where you want the Seraphim cruisers. They have flak. Look at all the flak in the air exploding and just killing off bunches and bunches of torp bombs at the same time. You compare that to the UEF cruisers. They have nicely accurate and high good damage, but they only kill one at a time. The Seraphim cruisers are brutal for groups of torpedo bombers because they'll just destroy clumps. Amygdala says, sorry guys, I gotta go. He has given over everything to Stone Elf. His commander has walked out into the water, and let's see what happens on there, but I think he is leaving the game, obviously. That is, sorry, for a moment I was worried, but that's a support commander, it's fine. A support commander with gun, and you can start shooting and stunning things. Why not just get a bit closer and start popping off some T1 PD, why not? Right, so Amygdala has moved into a safe spot, nothing around him. I think we will see a control K, and he will just leave the game. Hopefully it's full share, so his stuff is given over. Need to go. Good luck, he says, another nuke out. And where's this one going? Well, it's going for the main base of, well, this base of Stone Elf. I don't think that's a clever idea. Have they scouted? No, look, they've scouted the anti-nuke. He knows it's there. Is he just taking a chance that's going to get through and it's not loaded? Because it is loaded. They haven't said that, it's only just loaded. It's the Sierra T2 sonar can move. That was actually something put in as a balance by the FAF team because previously it couldn't, but they still don't have T3 sonar. So that hasn't changed. This nuke is going to be shot down. No if buts or maybes, it's going to get stopped by this SMD right here. There we go. Didn't quite. I wonder if he was trying to skirt it, because that looked pretty close to the edging. Actually, if he fired it back here, it would have got through. There's no anti-nuke up this way. It would have gotten through and destroyed that particular bit of production there. But instead, just a wee bit too close to this one, and it did not die. Alright, we have a battleship up front for that and a kind of protection going up against two other battleships and a couple of battle cruisers. That's a terrible idea. And in come the torpedo bombers. Out comes the flak. And again, we're going to have a bad time. Absolute bad time. Okay. We're looking. And another nuke out. My nuke sub, so not content to be the only one getting nuked, Stoned Elf has built a nuke sub, and this is going to be a surprise nuke. Is it going for this navy? Oh my word, if it clicks on this navy, that is going to be a huge amount of damage. It is. Oh no. No way to dodge that. As a point blank nuke. Takes out a huge number of cruisers, damages the battleships. Critically, it is the cruisers and the shield boats behind it that have been taken out. They do now have to drop back to avoid all of this. That was brutality. Absolute brutality. Alright, there was a support commander down here that's just That's what just went boom, got picked up by a bunch of gunships, both T2 and T1. Not having a good time there. It's not having a good time, not at all. Right, air response coming in from Sailor Moon, maybe a bit late, but the gunships are going to die. And the air response from Stoned Elf. Shovel Knight, where's your air? All the way back here. He has a lot of air in his base. That Scathus that we saw ages ago is, what's it, 80% done? 85% done. That goes up, it is going to be a huge amount of game over. Look at the number of strats here from Sailor Moon. He is going for a strat snipe, and those are Revenants. They will have stealth. Have they been seen as a question? Well, don't think so. Do not think so. But I know they have Omni somewhere. I think it's up here. Yep, Omni there. So once those strats enter this nice red ring, that's the Omni range, they will get seen. So if they come along the top, they're going to get picked up by this Omni. But that's another Omni there. So plenty of area where those strats will be seen, and it's going to be a bad time. That is gas attack launcher. I don't think it can get over the hills, but up the north, up this way, it's the wrong way to take the strats. They will be seen. However, maybe sneaking through here, where they'll run into the ASFs. Going to be hard for them to get through, but if they do, they could do some good damage. He has a good number of them. 12, 16, no, 4, 8, 12, right about 15 strats, all there, ready to go. With bombs there, needing a new home. Something exploded. It's a support commander, I'm pretty sure from the sound of it. I just don't know where it was. Can't tell. That is actually the second... Ah! So that's what Campbell's been doing. He has been building Novaks. And just been sending it around, killing off Eco. Why not? Off this fringe Eco, just get rid of it. It's easy to kill, it's not shielded, and it does dent your opponent's income. That makes a good time. Shovel Knight has built his own experimental, because guess which one it was? It's the big experimental. He has been saving up for that bad boy, just pumped out ASFs to take care of that, and there goes Gatling artillery. Boom, 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 and where's he going for first? Well, by the look of it. Destruction. Hello? Nuke out from, oh, the battleship. Very damaged battleship, but the nuke is out. And where's it going for? Well, so Camp X 500 says if you can Navy nuke, so can I. He does that. Meh, says Stoned Elf. Bit of his own medicine. But here's the issue. Oh dear, this is going to be horrible. These are tiny T2 shields. They have virtually no protection. Those shells are going to do a huge amount of damage once these shields are gone. Whereas Salvo is in, and you want to upgrade and assist those like fuckery. Get all of these to assist that. Stop assisting your nuke, or launch it. You have a nuke in there, launch it somewhere and assist your shields on the upgrade, because in comes the next Salvo, and this is going to be awful. This is going to be painful. Sailor Moon down into the red. That Salvo, the nuke launcher is still there. Launch it, please, for the love of God, use it. There's that lovely old nuke sound. And is it going to get out before the shells land? The shells are coming in. The missile gets out. The shells land and the launch goes down. So just in time gets that missile going. Question is, where's it heading for? Can go. Maybe up here to kill off some of that. Again, up here could be a target. The strats did try to get through, but they got seen. There's only two. Only two left. They got picked off. They got seen and they got murdered by these ASFs. Unfortunately, there's only two left. They're going to drop their bombs, but get nothing done. The nuke looks like it got shot on those guys. I suppose. When you have to launch it, but don't know where. Shovel Knight finishes off his laser. Down here, Sailor Moon down into the red horribly. So close to dying there from the Scathus, but his base is in tatters. He has a whole bunch of support Air factories, none of these are the HQ, so as per the rulings he cannot build any T3 air units. All he can get out of here is engineers and T1 air. Needs to grab some of these engines and slap up a T3 HQ somewhere so he can get air production going on again, but as for now, that's it. Now the Scathers are going for those annoying Novexes, which are up here. Oh, they could go for all this exposed, so this is a mistake. Trying to shoot through shields with Novex, you need a ton of Novex to do it. What you want to do with your Novex is kill power. All these exposed T3 factories, kill them off. Leave things alive that are using power, kill off the power generators, the shields will go down, and then you can have a go at stuff. That's the way you do it, but they're not going to last too much longer. Those shells are landing on down, unshielded Novexes, incoming Scathers rounds. Amazed they survived. Shield's gone though. The shield's up, but it doesn't cover those. So the Novex are not long for this world, and again, shooting the wrong thing. Shoot these. If you have the option with Novex, absolutely 100% go for power. Kill off the power, but Novex is going to die, the HQ is going to go, these things are going to fall out of the sky. Amusingly, they land on something they can do damage, I think. Yep, there we go. Oh, that was a lot of reclaim. 1,000 damage if they land on something though, that's not too shabby. But still, 8,000 reclaim, wowzer. I had no idea how much those are worth. It's a lot though. And this base, yep, it has been deleted. You're quite right. 1,000 damage and 8k reclaim. Well worth the kill. Okay. Sailor Moon. Hiding.
Strategic launch.
Trying to get health back. And that's another nuke. This is out from, there we go. That nuke sub again from Stoned Elf. I keep going to say Shovel Knight, but it's not a Stoned Elf. That's why I'm saying Stoned Elf. But that nuke is once again going for this Navy, and they're going to have a bad time. Some very healthy battleships, but these cruisers and shield boats, they're not. They're not going to stand up to that nuke. Get some battleship focus down, knock out the shields, kill this guy off. Going to have a romp. Splat. Kills are many. Battleships kind of don't care. Especially these ones, they just don't give the flying rat's ass too far away. This one took a good big hit, but it's also been primary by everything else, so hey. But the shields are gone, the cruisers are gone. Now's the time to send in the torpedo bombers. Exactly what you do. There's some ASFs do come up in strife to try and thin out the numbers. We have, they're going to get one pass, going to do a good amount of damage to this battleship. That is most likely going to help sway the Navy battle in their favour of Team 2. That point blank nuke. Still got shields of his own, has a bunch to Sailor Moon down by Shovel Knight. Well, he figured he had to try and do something. He didn't have the health for it though, and he ran into a whole swarm. T1 PD, that's just a terrible placement. So he tried something, he had no base, he tried to do something, but really it was not a lot he could have done. Perhaps if he was teleported then just here, maybe slightly out of range of the T1 PD. I think that from safety. Sadly, he was a little bit too close and absolutely hunted. Right then, so Scathus is still up and operational. These guys have it's back here maybe, but Scathus going for this front base as such. Yes indeed, in fact there's already been a whole bunch, and look at these. Boom, 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 boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 T3 PGens gone just like that. And while you're trying to get an upgrade on your support commanders, that's just not going to work. And hello, that is a Tele SACU that is ready to go somewhere and try and do some damage. Maybe it'll go for the Scathus, maybe it's going to try and do it out of oblivion. There goes the Tele command, and let's see if we can spot where it's going. Is it going this way? Don't see it. It's not going for the Scathus. A wise move. Going for somebody else. They're not. I don't know where it's going. So, he's gone. Here's the blue, I hear it. I did tell you there. I didn't see it. Ah, right under the scathers, that's why. I did not see it there, but unsurprisingly, it lasted all of about 5 seconds before all this T1 PD just deleted it. How many's there? So we've got 63 T1 PD with their DPS of 150. Yeah. That will delete it in a few seconds. A few seconds, even as tough as it was, it's not going to last long against that. And we have a Control K out from team number 2 to finish off the day. They have thrown their last cards. As far as they're concerned, they're not going to keep on fighting. They're barely holding in the middle. They had a couple of battleships and things, but getting point blank nukes did not help. Battleships were doing okay. They were sort of holding. They had units of support back here as well. Would have done something on that way. But the Scathers has been the deciding factor in this game. Scathers got up. The Scathers started raining destruction down upon their opponents. And that was the end of that. And there we go. That is camp